Hey, it's a Scotch Test Dummies. We got Amrut Peated whiskey.
Peated. Baby, just peated.
Amrut does not
Just
mean
peated.
passion.
Who would say that?
It means nectar.
Of course. Like nectar of the gods.
Let's test it.
Test it!
Hey, it's Scotch Test Dummies. We got a little shout out this weekend to the North Shore Whiskey Club. They follow us on Twitter.
Ah! That was my shout.
Chag and Darren.
You didn't know I was going to do
I
that.
can't wear a Patriots shirt, but I do
would
have
have
a
ripped
Red
it
Sox.
off of his body.
How's that? Is that good enough for you?
Red Sox is good. I like that they broke the
Yeah,
streak.
Red Sox are
They
good.
broke the curse. They had their own mythical beat. You all right there? A lot of clearing. A lot of clearing going on. You all right?
Well, it's better than the saliva mixing that you was
Now, that's a
talking about.
whole nother episode. That's the episode with the stock and barrel.
Yep.
We're talking about Amrut Peated.
Amrut Peated from where? India.
The foot of the Himalayas. Bangalore. Right? Is it Bangalore?
Yes.
Bangalore. Just love saying that.
Now, I'm going to say something just right off the bat here. I was a little scared going into this.
You were scared? See, I love the peated.
I was scared.
You could peat anything.
I was
and
scared
like
of it because
Or peated
we've recently done an Irish peated whiskey, which wasn't good, in my opinion.
I liked it. He
And we
said
done-
it tasted like burnt hair.
And we done a Swiss peated whiskey,
That one was a little rougher. I
and
was
it
with
wasn't
you.
good either.
I was with you on that one being a
I
little
was
rougher.
beginning to think only Scotland and Scotch
Only
is the
Isla.
proper.
He thought only Isla could
I
handle
thought
it.
maybe that's the proper peating, and nobody else knows how to do it.
Now with that lead in,
I was mistaken.
you were mistaken.
India has done it fine, but if you Amrut has imported their peat from
You can
Scotland.
smell the peat right there. Yes, yeah, they did. So they went and got Scottish peat.
Yes,
So there. I mean, can you imagine? That's my business right there. Like, what do? I sell peat around the world. I'm like, you sell peat?
that's right.
Cut it up, put it on thing, sell
It's
it.
on the train. It's on
It's
the
going
boat.
to maybe Japan,
I can smell
maybe
it.
Taiwan. I almost said
Where?
Taiwan, Taiwan, and it's definitely going to India.
That's right.
Product of India. Now, you joked in the opening about we have done a review of the Fusion. This is our second bottle of Amrut we're going to be able to review, and just as a little teaser, Flaviar, when we got the pack, had like a little what? How much? A little sample bottle
About a
of
3 ounce,
regular
about a 3
Amrut.
ounce
Yeah.
pack or sample, 2 to 3 ounce pack sample that you get.
And I've been wanting. That's kind of on our to get
Which one
done
is it though? Do
list.
you remember?
Just a straight Amrut.
Just Amrut?
It's like an Amrut 10 year or something. All right. Now,
Now, if you've watched our first video, the Amrut Fusion, Bart incorrectly states that Amrut means passion.
Herman
We have
from
learned
Canada said that it meant nectar.
And
I
several,
read that.
yes,
Several weeks later, we shoot the review. I turned it into passion.
Bart has been known from time to time to mix up words,
Yes.
names,
Thoughts
thoughts,
and experiences.
and experiences.
Not
as
usually.
well,
I can tell
too.
a good story. So, Amrut means nectar, as in nectar of the gods.
So anyway, with the experience of the Irish peated whiskey and the Swiss peated whiskey, I was hesitant going into this until I nosed it. And immediately, the nose reminded me of a Kalila or a Lagavulin. A sweet peat is on the nose.
I'm with you on a sweet peat.
And it's kind of a medium peat. It's not a real harsh. It's not a Lafroig peat. It's
Right.
not an Ardbeg peat.
Ashtray. There's no ashtray here. There's no cigarette smoker. It's not that kind of peat.
And I actually got a little bit of cocoa.
Now, what I got, and you know this because it surprised me, and I just got a little bit there too. I wrote it in my notes, and I doubted myself, and I almost took it back off, and then I just said, I'm going to leave it. I get a hint of my wife loves to make banana bread. and she will let the bananas sit out and ripen, over ripen, and then she'll make the bread. And I got just an underlay of that older banana, that overripe banana. It's just a hint that's in there. And I will admit, after I wrote my notes, I went to check to see if I was completely insane, and some other people had that as well. Because I was like, oh God. But it's not bad. I was just shocked. But I learned that I write what I smell.
You had told me that you didn't tell me what it was. You told me that you had something, you couldn't believe it was in there, you hadn't had it before, you looked it up online, you found it, or other people had it as well. Mm-hmm. So when I had it, I'm going through and I'm taking my notes. I don't pick it up, and I still don't. And I had to look it up. I went through, I took my notes, and then I looked up online and I found it, and I found a couple other reviewers that had noted that banana on the nose and on the palate as well. So but I don't get it.
I didn't have it noted in the palate, but I mean, if you're picking it up on your nose, oftentimes, especially with that circular breathing, thanks Sam. I used to call it Bart's.
Well, we just had a couple of comments come in
on circular breathing?
retro hail. A retro inhaler, a retro hail. Really? One person
it's not just
named
circular
it as well.
Circular breathing is what the musicians use, I know, to keep a tune going. But I can imagine you could get it on the taste palate as well. I mean, if you're picking it up on your nose. Now, on the taste neat, first of all, I like it better neat. I'll get into my tastings with a touch of water in a little bit, but I really, really like this neat. What is the ABV? It's 46%.
It's non-chill
filtered. Yes. I get it's got a medium body, clings to the roof of my mouth and the sides of my cheeks. Slight medicinal flavor, which is that peat that's in there. That peat that I'm used to, and I love the peat.
On the taste, a medium peat. Still, it reminds me of a Kalila, a Lagavulin. I get a brown sugar that's in there, a nuttiness, salt water, and a dash of peppermint buried down in there.
It's got a medium length trailing flavor, which is one of the things I always love about anything that's peated. It gives you that aftertaste that'll trail out, that'll string you along for a little bit, and you get it here as well. And again, I will echo what Scott's saying. This is not a punch you in the face peat. This is that mellow, complex peat.
Sweet, a sweetness peat, sweeted peat.
I'm with you.
And if you've watched our videos, Bart loves the peat. He loves the Lefroys. He loves the Ardbegs. I don't.
Go home and.
I mean, they're growing on me, but side by side, I'm taking, a sherried Scotch or other before a heavily peated one.
Right. Serves us well, our different taste palates.
This is my kind of peat. I love it. I could see if this was readily available, I'd have a bottle of this around all the time.
Really? Now, when I add a little water, the nose changes a little bit. I get hints of roasted peanuts.
I got a nuttiness that's in there. And sometimes I can tell you it's an almond or it's a hazelnut. I've just got nuttiness was all that I was able to get. But
with water, it's a lot lighter on my tongue, which is one of the reasons I don't like it as much. A little bit more pepper, which surprised me. I got a little bit more of that pepper sting after I added the water, which I didn't get neat. One of the reasons I like it neat better, it's almost like a little bit of that alcohol sting. Then it pops in the peat way in the back of my tongue. And it trails off dry. And that is when I get a hint of that ashtray peat with the water. And then also a little bit of acetone in the back.
I don't get any of the acetone at all with it.
And I put in my notes, I would love this cast strength. I love cast strength. Yeah, I would. Anything with peat, I really dig the cast strength side of it.
This is enough though that there's other stuff in there. There's not just peat. There is that sweetness. There's the salt water. There's a little bit of a nuttiness to it. And I get, like I say, a little bit of a mint or a peppermint that's buried down in there, just barely, just a slight hint of it. But it's enough. The Laphroaigs and the Ardbegs, you get peat, and you get peat, and you get more peat, and that's it.
Speaking my language.
So
You know, you good call on the briny saltwatery deal, because you're right. I didn't have that in my notes, but that is present, and I like it. Almost like how a saltwater taffy or a salted caramel will have that kind of saltiness to it. And you're right. I hadn't put that in my notes, but I totally see what you got. Now, one thing I wanted to say with Amrut, we did our Amrut Fusion review, what, a year and a half ago, maybe? I don't know. It's a ways back. And it started off decent. And then most of our reviews, you know, they kind of peak and then they start to come down. It makes a little mountain. And the Amrut Fusion, just like
it's gone the way
slope.
It started kind of slow,
and then boom.
It's been working its way
And
up.
I went and said, wow, this thing is hitting in our top 30. It's in our top like 3 to 5 videos every single month. And I went in and pulled some of our analytics on it. Leading viewers, India. Age, 25 to 34. And we've even had some comments come in from folks from India. And it's just, you know, it's really cool. I went and pulled the leading demographic from country. Total, the highest one is India. Then comes in America. So, you know, our fusion, there's a ton of whiskey drinkers in India.
And we've gotten a lot of comments on some of our Indian viewers that want us to try these other Indian whiskeys, and we don't have them. I would love to try them. I've looked all over town. I spent one weekend and I drove. We've got 100 liquor stores here in town. I didn't go to all of them.
I would have just called them.
Several.
I would have.
Oh, I like traveling.
You like driving?
Yeah, and then you got to look.
He's got a little scooter. He puts his little helmet on, just rolls all around town.
Amrut Fusion we put out in May of last year, so not that long, 7 months ago.
Okay, 7 months ago. And I have a shirt that says Danger Men.
Cooking.
What? Men Cooking. Hello. And you got Favre.
For president.
Yes. All right, but it's now moved up to, I think it's our 3rd most viewed video.
Yeah. 92.
88.
Whoa.
That's good. It's a good score.
There's a little bit of a difference there. I really enjoy it.
Yeah,
I really
you
like it.
surprised me because usually you're anti-peat. Not anti-peat.
Well,
I'm over the top peat.
you've got to have these other elements. You put these other elements in there with it. You put that sweetness in there. You put the nuttiness in there. If that was in a sherry cask as well, boom, that'd be like a 99.
A sherry cask as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like it, and it's a mild peat, and
It
it's
is.
not. I can tell by drinking this that it's not overtaking my taste buds. So if I was eating, if I was drinking, had other whiskeys that I wanted to drink, if I was at a social gathering, a Laphroaig kills your taste buds. Okay,
No, it doesn't.
it overpowers them. I mean, it's like a Spartan, battle. But the Laphroaig, you don't taste after you drink a Laphroaig or an Ardbeg. You can't taste anything.
You
but
want to
peat.
do it, if it's in your tasting for a flight of Scotch, you do want it at the end.
Yes,
I agree.
this is really a mild to a medium peat. It's just delicious, and the sweetness that's in there with it.
It is. It carries a nice sweetness, and I do agree with you. It's not trying to be that Isla peat. It's not trying to do that at all. And you're right. It is pretty interesting. I mean, I joke around that there's a guy that cuts peat moss and sends it around the world, but I mean, they got it going on.
That's right.
I mean, it tastes good. It's peated. It's a peated single malt whiskey. Love it.
That's right.
Love it.
Hey, and thanks to everybody that subscribed to us. 2 or 3 weekends ago now, we hit 1,000 subscribers.
That's right.
It's been coming up. It's a good milestone.
Yeah, we're doing good. We really picked up speed on that. Do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. Click the button, subscribe.
Leave
Thumb our
comments.
videos. Yeah, comment. We are the
Thumb us.
Scotch Test Dummies. There are some highly intelligent world traveling Scotch and whiskey drinkers out there, please put your comments on there. Let us know your tasting notes on this or anything else, and just your thoughts in general. We want to hear it, and it helps us out. But please subscribe. The more
That's
people
right.
we can reach, the more people we can
Follow
reach.
us on Twitter as well, Scotch Test Dummy.
Yes. All right. Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Cilantro. Dummies.